Hi, my name's Scott. Welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. I'm glad you joined me today. I'm going to be putting my tomato plants in the ground today. To amend my soil, I'm going to use this garden lime. It puts calcium and makes calcium available to your plants. I'm going to put that in the hole. I'm going to put about a third of a cup in each hole that I plant my tomatoes in. I had blossom end rot last year. I had to do some emergency amendments with some unconventional medicines to fix that. But I'm going to try to head that off this year with some garden lime. I did amend my soil with garden lime last year, but I did a broadcast amendment. I worked it into the entire garden plot. This year I'm going to just put it right into the hole, and hopefully that'll help out this year. I'm going to put some Epsom salt in there. I know that's a controversial stuff. Some people swear by it, say it's good for your tomatoes and peppers. Some people say it's all a bunch of jokes, but I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm also going to use some all-purpose 13-13-13 all-purpose fertilizer in the hole. Mix it in real well. I'm not a stickler for organic stuff. If I had an organic all-purpose fertilizer, I might use that instead, but I don't have it on hand. And ultimately, like I've said before, chemistry is chemistry. It all breaks down to the same molecules, and so long as the salts aren't building up in my soil, which I guess could happen if I use this regularly, that might be a problem. But you know, I'm going to use it this year. I know that that kind of violates my code for my raised beds, that I do my raised beds organically, and I do my container gardens, I'll use non-organic stuff. But I'm going to do this year because that bed has been depleted by weeds and I don't have the organic material. I used all my compost in my other beds, and so I'm out. I need a bigger, better compost operation. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do with the holes. Each hole will get a little dose of each of these. It'll be mixed in real well, and I'll put my tomatoes in there. I put a full shovel of peat moss in there. Peat moss is good organic material. It'll help to retain moisture, give the worms something to eat, and help to break up that hard soil that's been sitting there and not amended for a while, and all the organic material that was in it has been eaten by worms, broken down. It's pretty dense soil. It's getting back to clay. So that addition of that peat moss will help to retain water and give some organic material to the hole, help the soil out. So I'm putting about a handful of lime in each hole, and I'm going to mix all this in. Hopefully the concentrated areas where my holes are being amended, rather than broadcasting this throughout the whole garden, hopefully that will help to avert blossom end rot. And I'm adding what amounts to two tablespoons, maybe a little bit less of Epsom salt. Each hole gets 2 tablespoons. Alright, so to recap, what I've done here for my tomato holes is I've amended the soil as if it were a potted plant, as if it were just a container plant. So what I've done here, like I said, I've got each hole, it's about 12 inches around, maybe a foot deep, and into that I've put 1 shovelful of peat moss for organic material. I have also about 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt in each hole. I have also about a handful of a balanced all-purpose fertilizer in each hole, and I'm doing that only in this bed, violating my organic standards this year because this soil is very depleted. What else? Oh, and a handful of garden lime. Phoebe, get out of the garden. Good dog. A handful of garden lime to help head off blossom end rot. And what I'll do is I'll go and I'll mix up all of that in there along with some of the soil that I've turned out of the hole, and hopefully we should have a good bed of tomatoes this year. These are my tomato plants. This is one I'm really excited about, at Pantano Romanesco. I only had about 6 or 7 seeds in the packet this year, so I'm hopeful that this will produce well. It's the one I was most excited about. This is about the size I like to plant, about 10 inches tall, and you can plant them deep. You can pluck this lower limb off here and plant them up to about right there, and you get a little bit stronger plant. I'll show you how to prune these things later by pinching some of the buds and suckers off so that you get a more bushy plant. Whack. I'm going to pinch that one. Plant it. First tomato in the ground. Now once again, dig a hole, deep hole in that soil we just amended. Take this one, my original label there. I'm going to pluck those last 2 leaves, those are the bottom leaves off, and I'm going to plant my tomato plant up to about there. There we go. Right about there. And that's that. And here we go. Tomatoes in the ground. This makes me real happy. I like it. All right, this is my happy place, right on my back porch with my dog and with all the work done for the day. We got our tomatoes in and planted all those things up. All we got to do now is mulch the bed. It's very important to mulch the bed. Keeps the moisture in, keeps the weeds down, and that bed's got a lot of weed seeds. It's got a whole lot of nut grass or nut sedge, and that stuff's, that's persistent stuff. So got to keep on top of that. Well, there you have it. That's how we do tomatoes here. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel. Like my Facebook page and follow my blog and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more gardening adventures. We don't always do it right, and if we don't do it right, well, we'll learn together. I'll share my mistakes. Thanks for joining me today on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Take care.